All right, cool. So I'll do a little recognition here to kick it off. So we're going to start with, excuse me, the top 20 volume for last week. Let me see if I can just mute everybody first here. Mute all. Okay, so top 20 volume for last week. So this is the volume that's created by your customer orders and your orders. That's what creates your personal volume. So in the 300 club with over 300 volume points, we had Carrie Wood, Kimberly Opperlay, Ginger Holiday, Shauna Valenta, Alyssa Sardelli, Bridget Moore, Andrea Wallace, Teresa Versetto, and in the 400 club, we had Rhonda Shute, Allison Madalino, Brittany Babbitt, Shelly Frank, Stacy Werrick, Jennifer Pike. In the 500 club, Nikki Sidowitz, Kristen Coyne, Amy Reelman. In the 600 club, Carrie Matabano and Francesca Calhoun. And at the top, I don't think I've ever been at the top, but I had 900. In your face, Kelly Marks. In your face. Inside joke. Okay, so we also have the coaches that signed or enrolled, I like that word better, enrolled multiple coaches last week. So with 2 coaches, Aneth Segovia, Derek Marks, excuse me, who I believe is Kelly Marks, that's her husband, she's working his business, Gage Ecker, who's Amy Reelman's boyfriend, had 2 coaches, Jill Wagner with 2, Joyce Rogalski, Kara King, Michelle Stokes, Sarah Olinsky, and then with 3 coaches, Amy Morgan, Barb Fervert, Michael Thompson, and myself. So that was the coaches. And then for Success Club, the report that I run in the online office, it only shows me the people that have already hit Success Club. And so you might have 5 points, but if you don't have your 90 PV home direct, then you won't show up as hitting Success Club this month. So that's not the best report to look at. So what I'm going to do is just look at the file in the Boom Fam group. And then if you guys have coaches that have already hit Success Club that have 5 points or more that aren't in the Boom Fam, I'll let you guys have a chance to give them a shout out. But let's see, with 5 points already this month, we have Lori Sanderson. With 6 points, we have myself. And with 8 points, we have Caroline Nathan. And that's all that I see for Success Club so far this month in the Boom Fam for Success Club. And then I'm just going to check my little coach group here to see if there's anyone else in there. Nope, just Caroline and myself in there, with Caroline with 8 and myself with 6. So any of you guys have coaches that have hit Success Club, or anyone that has hit Success Club with over 5 points already?
Chelsea Cata has.
Anyone else? Nobody? Come on now. I know you guys have some people that hit Success Club. Don't be afraid to give yourself a shout out if you hit Success Club.
I have Carrie Smith has like 6. Steelman Smith, and I have 1.
I have 6.
Who's that? Emily Bach? Emily Bach?
Yep.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Focus. Laser focus.
Hashtag. Who else we got here?
You're echoing.
Amy Reelman's at 8. Laura MacLeod is at 8 as well. She's a brand new coach. She's dominating right out of the gate. Anybody else at Success Club so far?
Chelsea Cata has 8. Chelsea Cata has 8.
Nice. Cool. All right. So I was going to have, I don't know if you guys, how many of you guys know this, but we did our first ever Team Boom retreat. And we also just hit over, I think we're at 100 participants on this call, and that is the max for these Zoom calls. So we got to come up with a new way to do these calls, unfortunately. think we maxed out the Zoom call tonight. So we did our first retreat last year at the end. It was in October, and we did it in South Florida, and it was a blast. We had such a good time. I think there was like 30 of us. So we're doing it again I think it's the last weekend in September this year, and it's going to be in South Florida again. This time it's going to be in Fort Lauderdale. And there's going to be more information about that coming up. I don't know if Bridget, I think Bridget or Caroline and Shauna are all like in charge of the retreat, like organizing it. What did the coaches need to know right now? Can they like start like booking and giving you money and doing all that yet? Or is we going to hold off on that?
When people book their rooms, they'll book directly through the resort. So we just have to wait for our group rate, and we are waiting to sign the contract and like finalize everything with the hotel. Hopefully tomorrow. So we're finalizing rates. But right now, the dates are September 24th, which is a Thursday. The exact dates like that, like everybody will be there, is usually like Friday and Saturday. So, but the 24th of September is when like a lot of people will get there, and then hoping through that Sunday, which is the 27th, I believe. But if you want to stay extra or come early, like it's all up to you. But those are the dates we're like hoping for the retreat. The 25th and 26th are going to be the big days where we do trainings and get all that stuff organized. So
Bridget,
Yeah.
they definitely want to be there Friday morning to do our session.
Yeah, I think we're going to probably do, like last year what we did was people came in on Thursday or Friday morning. We did a workout at 9. Then we did training from like 10 to 12 or 1.
Yeah. So Thursday through Sunday is like Thursday night, Friday morning.
Cool. Yeah. So if you can get in Thursday night, and we'll be hanging out Thursday, and then the first like organized thing will be Friday morning. We'll do a workout. And then we'll have some good stuff during the day Friday. We'll do a workout Saturday morning, and then we'll have some good stuff Saturday during the day. And then we're also, we'll have maybe do a little bit of something on Sunday. And then I know there's a good amount of us that are going to stay Sunday night too, and then leave Monday. So it's up to you guys. If you just want to come for 2 nights, like Friday and Saturday night, you're more than welcome to do that. If you want to come for all 4 or 3 nights, you can do that too. But we'll be posting like more information about that very soon.
It's at the Hilton. Somebody's asked that
the Hilton
question.
Beach Resort is the resort, and the rooms are going to be like 1 king or 2 queens. So we usually like try to stack as many people as is comfortable for you in a room. So I know like I'm personally going to be staying with 3 other girls. So all the rooms have a kitchenette or a full kitchen if you want to upgrade. There are upgrade options available. So just keep in mind, right now the rate is about $159 a night. So when you divide that, you've got 3 nights, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and you divide that by 4 people, it's really reasonable. So, and it's a really nice resort.
Yeah, and above all, like last year when we did our retreat, you get to meet all your coaches. So you come back from this retreat and you're on fire. Like I think Carolyn went diamond and Elizabeth went diamond, and it's so much easier to talk about what we do and meet the people that we're on Facebook with, and you get to build a relationship. So it's like going to a Super Saturday times like 10. So I know most of the coaches that are my new coaches that came back from it were so glad that they went. And I bet Caroline would like to talk a little bit about that. If you want to just talk about it a second.
Do you want me to? Can you hear me okay, or is my static too bad, Pat?
No, it's actually gone.
Oh, really? Okay. Real quick, I went to the Team Boom retreat because Pat kept nudging me about it last year, and I went with 3 active coaches as an Emerald coach, and I went Diamond 18 days later. And literally, it was just when I met all these coaches that I looked up to and like put on this high pedestal, I realized like none of us come from a special planet. We don't have a special iPhone. We're like not special people. They just like give up their excuses. And I did that, and I went all in. And once you do that, it really just comes and like not trying to reinvent the wheel and not trying to like, I'm just not going to follow the scripts because I think those are stupid, like things like that. And I got on my first this Wednesday night call right after the retreat, and just things like that, small changes, all in. Best decision of my life. I'm so glad I went. If I hadn't, I probably would have quit by now. So thank you.
There you go. That's why you got to come to Summit and get to the Team Boom retreat. Something weird happens there. Something kind of magical. You start to like take these people off the pedestal. You get to see my sisters and my family make fun of me, and we make fun of each other, and we're just normal, down to earth, just like all the other Team Boom coaches that are doing really well. You realize that they're just normal, down to earth, everyday people that aren't doing anything ridiculously crazy. They're just doing those little things every day, whether they feel like it or not. Speaking of the little things, that's what I want to talk about today, was the basics, right? Hashtag back to the basics. So I know that it's kind of a bummer that we have 100 people and maxed out. I'm getting some texts from people that are saying they can't get on. So I just posted in the Boom Fam, and I just sent, I'm going to send a message to you guys right here in this chat. I can send it to everybody. So I just sent a link, a YouTube link. I did basically the same call last night for my Coach Basics group. And so that's the recording of that. So for the people that can't get on this call, go ahead and share that in your coach groups, or shoot them a Facebook message so they can watch that for the next 40 minutes while we're on this live one. Cool. All right. So these are there's three things I want to talk about. And the first, well, before I get into those three, everyone tries to make this business so much more complicated than it really is, right? It's actually a lot simpler than people try to make it be. And what I do to try to make sure my coaches are on the right track is create tunnel vision for them. And I like to create hashtags that I beat into the ground until they're like, you've heard it so many times that you're just like disgusted hearing it anymore. So one is now this new one that I got. I'm sure you guys know that the hashtag inevitable that I've just beaten to the ground. And then this one I have now is called tunnel vision, right? So I really try to give my coaches tunnel vision because there's so many different things that they can get distracted by, right? There's so many different things that coaches are doing left and right. So I try to get them to focus on one thing and one thing only. And that's the 21-day challenges, right? The 21, those private 21-day challenge groups. So there's three things that go with that. The first is how to find good people and how to connect with them. The second is how to invite those people and handle the objections. And the third is how to create an amazing experience for those people. So it's more than just the challenge packs. It's an experience. It's about the challenge group. Such a good experience that they want to pay it forward and create that experience for others by becoming a coach, right? So that's one of the things I said is how to develop gold ships before they even become a coach. One of the ways you do that is to give them such an amazing experience that when they do become a coach, because they're going to want to, they're going to just do exactly what you did with them. So if you sign them up, if they buy a challenge pack from you as a customer and you just throw them into some big challenge group, they're probably going to do the same thing if they become a coach with their customers. But if you give them a really amazing experience and you're texting with them every day, they're probably going to do the same thing with their clients, which is going to help their clients become better coaches. And that's how you turn your customers into gold ships. So you're developing gold ships before they even become a coach, which is pretty cool. So 90+% of the people that are, another hashtag I use, are my 5 best friends every month. So my goal every month is I want 5 people to commit to my 21-day challenge each month. So these are going to be 5 people that I'm going to really connect with one-on-one and really create a good experience for them in the group, trying to get them to connect with each other. And I'm going to talk more about how to do that. But that is my first one, is my 5 best friends. So the first thing is, okay, how do we find these people, right? So the way that I do that, like I said, 90% is through Instagram and Instagress. So what I was going to do is share my screen and just kind of show you guys how Instagress works. I'm sure some of you guys, this is going to be a refresher, but it's good to hear it again. So many things open. I can move this stuff. Okay, so I only use the auto likes, right? I don't use the auto comments. I'll tell you why. So the first thing I do is I come in here, I click on this thing, I turn on likes, right? So with Instagress.com, you sign into this with your Instagram account. And then I turn on my likes and the media sources tags. Activity speed, I have fast. I probably shouldn't have that. It should be normal. Do as I say, not as I do, I guess. But I actually haven't ever, like, I never get blocked on Instagram. Like once or twice I've gotten like kicked off real quick and then I just sign back in. And then I just have a ton of hashtags that I use. So I have like just some general health and fitness hashtags like healthy lifestyle, fit food, gluten-free, train hard, athlete. And then I have some things like entrepreneur, internet marketer, accountant, CPA, KPMG. That's kind of a little bit of my niche. I'm going after some of the people in the corporate world that are some accountants, because that's what I used to be. KPMG is an accounting firm. Then I have some local hashtags. Delray Beach is a town I live in. Skinny Atlas is where I'm from. Then some of the surrounding towns where I live. Some Beachbody hashtags, which does get you a lot of coaches that come to your page and like your stuff and follow you. And hey, I'm all for getting more followers. The more followers you have, the better your page looks. When people come to your page and they see you have a lot of followers, the more likely they are to want to follow you as well.
Hey, Pat.
Yeah.
If you scroll up, there's just one thing that I noticed that I take off is it says max likes filter. You have yours set to like 1,000. If you do it to a smaller amount, it's going to like people's photos. So say you did 30, it's only going to like people's photos who have 30 likes on their photo. So chances are if you're liking someone's photo that has 1,000 or 100 likes, they're not going to notice that you liked their photo. So I set my max filter as 40. The average person who has under 1,000 followers isn't going to get more than, 40 likes. And regardless, if there's 100, they're not scrolling through and seeing exactly every person that liked it. But that's just what I do.
Cool. That's a great tip. So as I'm going through this stuff, if any of you guys have anything you want to like add or point out, feel free to. But there's 3 sections I want to go through, right? The finding, then the inviting, then the experience. So after I go through the finding portion, I'm going to pause and let you guys ask some questions about that before I move on to the inviting. So also have, besides the Beachbody hashtags, I have /fitness is like a local gym near me. Juice Buzz is a local little like health store next to me that my sister Amy already like, I think is trying to like get the owner. So I'm, it's tough. I can't beat Amy. She's already on top of that store already. So what happens is when you use Instagram, it's out there liking all these photos with the hashtags that you want it to go look for and find those photos and like. So people are going to be like, all right, who's this person that liked my photo? They go to your Instagram, and based on your content and your bio, they'll like some of your photos, maybe start following you, right? So what I do, every time I get someone that comes to my page and likes a photo or starts to follow me, I go to their page, right? Because one of my favorite quotes is, you have to be more interested than interesting. So I go to their page, and if I like their page, if it's something that catches my eye, I'll like 2 or 3 or 4 photos, and then I'll comment on their photo. If it's not a page that I like, if it just doesn't catch my eye, then I just move on. I'm not like desperate for people, right? You want to connect with people that you would want to go on vacation with, like people that seem like really down to earth. So when I like a few of their photos, and then I comment and I give them a compliment and ask a question. I'll say something like, hey, I really love your page. And then I ask them a question about one of their photos. Just try to start a conversation. And then maybe they ask me a question back, or they say something. Based on what they say, I might ask them another question. And then I'll just say, sounds great. Like, seems like we have a lot in common. I'm in a few Facebook fitness groups on Facebook. Are you on Facebook? Something like that, right? I also have my Facebook link in my Instagram bio. So if you guys go to your Instagram bio, there's a section in there. You can hit edit profile. There's a section that has your website where you can put in your website to your Facebook. And this is one mistake I think a lot of coaches make is they have their Facebook link, but they include www. You want to make sure you don't include the www, right? If you do, it messes it up. So you just want it to just say facebook.com/ your name and then maybe a number. You can figure out your link by going to your Facebook. If you go to your Facebook on your computer, you can see the hyperlink, right? So that's how I get a lot of people. They come to me because of Instagram brings them to me, and then I go to them and start conversations with them and then move it over to Facebook. Instagram is the cocktail party. Facebook is the party. So that's where I get to meet people, connect with people in the cocktail hour on Instagram, and then I move the conversation to Facebook because that's where the party is. That's where the 21-day challenge is at. In addition to Instagress, right? So I'm also searching hashtags manually, and I'm looking for photos that catch my eye. I go to their profile, and I do the same thing. I like 2-3 photos. I comment on one of their photos, give them a compliment about their page that really caught my eye, and I ask a question about one of the photos that caught my eye, or ask them a question just about their page in general or about their bio. Like, hey, really love your page. How long you been doing yoga? Really love your page. How long you been a trainer? And then they write back, and then I'll say, that's great. Seems like we have a lot in common. I don't know if you're on Facebook, but I'm in a few fitness groups on Facebook. Usually I'll say like, hey, I'm in a few fitness groups on Facebook. Are you on Facebook? And a lot of times I just go find them on Facebook if they say they are, and I send them a friend request. So that's the 2 ways I do it. The Instagress, and then I go and become more interested than interesting, and then also search the hashtags manually as well. So any questions about Instagress or how to search hashtags or how to start a conversation or how to move a conversation from the cocktail hour to the party? Nada. All right. Okay, here's one more little tip to find people. So this is one thing I did when I moved to Delray Beach. So if you go to Facebook, you can type in Delray Beach or wherever you live. And instead of, at the very bottom here, there's a little magnifying glass. So instead of clicking on like Delray Beach, Florida here, I'm going to click on Delray Beach, right? And I did this yesterday because I'm going to be doing like a little backpacking through like the Pacific Northwest next month. So I was looking at Portland. And so instead of clicking on like Portland, Oregon, I would click on just this little down here, Portland. I would click on this magnifying glass, right? It's a little trick. So once you click on that magnifying glass, there's a couple things you can see. You can see people, photos, pages, places, and there's a drop down that says more. One of the options is groups. So I click on groups, and there you go. Portland Mamas is like one of the first groups that pops up. So if you live in Portland and you're a mama and you want to connect with other Portland mamas, there you go. That's a really good group to be a part of, to connect with your niche. I did that with Delray Beach. So that's another little way that I find people. Any questions about that? Anybody else have any other ways that they find/connect with people before we move on to like the inviting part? Amy, Caroline, you're the only people I can see right now.
Me? Oh, I'll go to like you were saying, like Juice Buzz or whatever, any local places near you or places you like on Instagram, and I'll see who's following them, and I'll just click on the number of followers. So say they have 5,000 followers. I'll click on that number, and I'll go through those people, and whoever has public profiles, I'll check out their profiles, and if they seem like someone I'd like, then I'll comment on their photo.
Cool. Anybody else?
Another thing that I do that helps that you guys might want to try is I'll put in like areas. So I live in Greenville, South Carolina, and then I'll type in like top 10 gyms, and then I'll just find those pages of like people who liked the gym, and then I'll invite them. And then, sorry, I'm losing my voice. And then I also even put in like top 30 gyms in the US, things like that. Or I'll go to like health spas or expensive resorts like the Ritz-Carlton, and people who liked those gyms or workout areas in those gyms. I do that a lot. Or just like places where they have money, I think. So I've like expensive workout clothing, workout gear, shoes. I've been doing that. I think I stole that one from Caroline, huh? The workout gear. It works.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
One thing that I do, I don't know, can you hear me, Pat?
Yeah.
One thing that I do is I'll go to like Lululemon or Nike Women or whatever the hashtag is, and then I'll click one of their photos, and then I will click on them. Like, let's say that photo got 350 people that liked it. I'll click on that 350 people, and then I'll use that list as a way to like invite people.
Gotcha.
Hey, Pat,
Yeah.
Boom. Those muscles.
add on to what you guys were saying. I go to, like, as Marie said, like high-end clothing lines, whether it's workout or otherwise, and then I go through the pictures and find the people who are complaining that those high-end clothing lines don't have big enough clothing for them, and then I message those people.
Yeah. Or like overweight, or like hashtags like overweight, need to lose weight, even like fat, obese, because all those people have something that you know, that you have that they need. So I've kind of changed it lately, and that seems to be working. Instead of just like fit girl, like they're already fit.
I was doing, you guys see how Amy like attacks her business the way she attacks her opponent? Like, look at this poor girl. This girl like didn't know what hit her. Yeah, I don't think you're allowed to do that in girls lacrosse.
Oh no, I definitely got kicked off of that game.
So here's another example. Like, it doesn't just have to be like they're saying. There's so many things you can search. Like, you type it in on Facebook, search for it, do the little drop down, go to groups, and you can add yourself to any type of group that you want, any type of thing that you're into, that you want to connect with people that you think you'll get along with. That's your niche. These Facebook groups are a great way to do that. All right, let's see if I can get out here. Awesome. All right. Any other questions about the finding and connecting with people? There's got to be some questions, right? I can't move on until I get one question. Nada.
Hey, I got you a question.
Awesome.
I was trying to find my mute thing with this. So anyways, my question would be, so I usually do my invites on Instagram, and I usually do them via the script and just, go through, look at their stuff and put stuff out there that I've, hey, and are you interested in, I got this group. But is it better then to go in and just like some of their stuff and comment on it and just leave it? And then would you consider that an invite? You know what I mean?
Say say that one more time. Did anyone catch that?
So I didn't say it super clear, but I'll do it this time. If I go in and like somebody's picture, like I pull up their page and I like a couple of their pictures, and then I comment on Instagram, and then I say, hey, I really like your shoes or whatever, and then you just leave that, and then do you consider that an invite? Or do you actually, because this is what I do now, I go in to Instagram, I search a hashtag, I find somebody that looks like I can connect with, I go through their pictures, look at their stuff, and then I comment on their picture, and then along with the comments, I leave the script, hey, I have this really cool group on Instagram or on Facebook. Would you want to be, would you be interested in joining?
See, like, that's where I do it a little different than I used to. Yeah, I used to just go and comment on photos like that. And now I don't. Now I don't really say anything about connecting on Facebook until first I want to like a few photos. I want to comment and give them a compliment about what I like about their page.
Right.
I want to ask them a question about their page to engage them. And then once they respond, then I'll, based on their answer, I might ask them another question. Or I'll ask them to connect on Facebook. But before I ask them to connect on Facebook, I want to give them a compliment, what stood out to me, what I connected with on their page, and then I want to ask them a question about something, and then let them respond before I talk about connecting on Facebook.
So when you put that question out there, you consider that your invite. If they don't respond to you, because you're surely not tracking every single one of those.
No.
Right. So if they don't respond to you, then they don't respond. But if they do respond, that's when you move forward and ask them.
Yeah.
It's probably a little less of like the actual invite and more like connecting with 30 people or connecting with 50 people like a day rather than sending the actual invite out 50 times a day, right?
Right. Yeah, I do. Like Instagress brings a lot of people to me that I go and connect with. I wouldn't call it inviting really. And then I also go and manually search the hashtags, like you said, and connect with people that way too, and become more interested in them than trying to be interesting and saying, hey, I got this group that you should join.
Okay. All right.
I mean, but
I'm gonna give it a try.
yeah. So I use those two things, and then I do the same thing. I do kind of the same conversation when I connect with people through the Facebook groups too.
I feel like if you use that speech too much, people are kind of starting to know where it's coming from, because I've gotten a lot of snooty responses back.
Yeah. The one thing that's, you definitely will get some snooty responses if you're just copy and pasting. I get the one like downside to not just leading with the group and trying to like start a conversation is if you are starting a conversation with someone and you're asking them questions and then you post a photo and you get like a ton of likes, then you're going to have your whole notification section of your Instagram is going to get full, and you're going to maybe miss some of the comments that people commented back to you. So I try to like do my interacting on people's pages, not like right before I post a photo. You know what I mean? How about, I know, so Amy, are you still doing that? Amy Reelman, do you still on Instagram? Just comment like the comment and go right for the, hey, let's connect on Facebook. I have a fitness group.
I do the invite still, but I also do what you do. I'll message people and I'll comment with whatever their picture is and ask them a question. And then I do say, by the way, I have a 3-week challenge on Facebook. If you're interested, we should connect. So I still do that, but I follow certain people that like I really think would be good. And I just like and comment on things like, oh, this is cool or whatever. I use Instagram for the likes, but I do my own commenting.
Cool. Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to jump into the inviting. So I think once you do have someone on that you've connected with on Facebook, you've moved from the cocktail party to the actual party. I think a lot of times coaches, they're like nervous. They're like, I don't feel like I'm ready to invite them to do a 21-day challenge yet. I haven't built a relationship. I feel like I'm going to lose them. So the 5-step invite process, the 21-day fix, the 21-day challenge script that I used, I call that the invite process, right? There's steps that I follow. You can call it a script if you want, but I try to personalize it. That's what I follow that. So I was going to show you guys that. But in that process, one of the steps, step 3, which is my favorite step, is how I build relationships with people. So I'm not afraid to invite someone to a 21-day challenge without I don't have to feel like I have a really great connection with them yet. I started a little bit of a connection at the cocktail party, and then doing the invite steps, I'm going to build a really good connection with them. It's built into that process. So don't feel like you have to create a really amazing relationship before you go with the inviting. So I'm going to show you kind of how I do that. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are already using 21-day challenge invite scripts to how you invite people to join your 21-day challenges, right? So mine might be a little bit different. But if you go into the Boom Fam group and you go to the Files tab and you click on, I think it's called Challenge Pack Scripts, it's the very first script in there. If you go in my coach groups called Team Boom Coaches, it's also in the Files tab. The file's called Challenge Pack Scripts, and it's the very first script in that one as well. So this is the one I use. Step 1, there's a few ways you can say it. Some people will, when they connect with someone on Facebook, they might like pick up their conversation where it left off based on like what we're talking about on Instagram. And then they'll say something like, hey, I don't know if this is for you or not, since you probably have your own fitness and nutrition plan. Hold on, sorry. Thought it was shared. Okay. So once you pick up that conversation, when you connect with them on Facebook, then you can invite them to take a look at the 21-day challenge. So this is one way you can say it. Hey, I don't know if this is for you or not, since you probably have your own fitness nutrition plan, but a group of us are starting another 21-day challenge here on Facebook. Not sure if you've seen any of my posts about them. I can give you more info if you want. That's one way you can say it. This next one is more of like fits my personality. I just say something like, you're not interested in joining me for one of my 21-day challenges, are you? And then they're like, oh, what is that 21-day challenge, right? So I want them to just kind of ask me what it is. And then step 2 is basically getting their permission to ask them a few questions to make sure it's a good fit for them, right? Like I'm not trying to sell challenge packs to anybody and everybody. I want to get people into my challenge group that the other people in my challenge group are going to benefit from. So I'm not like desperate. I think a lot of times new coaches are desperate for people to join their groups, and that desperateness comes across even through Facebook messaging, and it's not attractive. So I want to make sure that this is a good fit for me. I want to make sure that they are a good fit for my group. I'm not trying to sell them. I'm not trying to sell this to anybody. So the way I do that is by asking if it's okay if I ask them a few questions and make sure this is a good fit for them. And so step 3 is the actual questions. So the first one is, do you already follow a fitness and nutrition plan? If yes, what is it? And how are the results coming along? Number 2, how would you describe your relationship with food? Do you ever deal with any kind of emotional eating or binge eating? Number 3, what would be your ultimate goal you'd be looking to achieve in 3 weeks? Be as specific as possible, i.e. lose 10 pounds, gain confidence, go from a size 8 to a size 6. The guys love that question. And then the last 2 questions are my favorite. So number 4, in the last 5 years, how many times have you started a program or a diet and fell off? And the answer to that is like basically every Monday, right? So when you're inviting them to take a look at this challenge group and they're looking at getting a challenge pack, they automatically think that this is going to be one more thing they pay for and fall off with, because that's all they know. And then question 5 starts to create a different perspective on it. It starts to make them think that this is going to be a lot different than all those other things they've started and quit. So number 5 is, do you think you'd benefit from being part of a Facebook group of like-minded, positive people that start the same day as you and are sharing and helping each other all 21 days and have me texting with you daily? I love that question. So now it's starting to create a much higher perceived value. This isn't just a challenge pack. This is an experience. Yes, you get amazing products, but you get an experience along with it. So then this even says, like, before going to the next step, have a conversation about their answers. Ask follow-up questions. Ask them to tell you a little bit more about that. There's no race. Take your time. Quality over quantity. So when they answer these questions, if they tell me they want to lose weight, and that's their answer to one of the questions, I ask them how much. I ask them what their current weight is. What would their ideal weight be? How would it feel to get to that weight? I want to like connect with them with more than just, I want to lose weight. That's not going to get it done. I need to find their why. It's just like when you have a new coach. You need to help them dig deeper for their why. It's the same with your customers. So I ask follow-up questions and dig deeper with them. I want to know their why before I move on to step 4, which tells them a little bit more about what this challenge group is all about. So based on their answers, after I've gone back and forth a little bit, I'll say something like, and again, I don't use this like word for word. It's more of a map. I call it a word map versus a script. Kind of like if you're in a car, if you get into a car and you don't have a map, you're going to drive around. You're not really going to know where you're going. You're never going to get there, right? But if you have a map, some kind of guide to kind of follow, you're going to get there a lot faster. So I look at this as like an invite process, as like a map that shows me kind of step by step versus a copy and paste kind of thing. So I'll tailor it based on the conversation I'm having with that person. But this is kind of the guide. So this is super helpful. Okay, so from what you're telling me about, include what their big why was. That's why it's so important that you connect with what their why is, right? So you include that right here. I definitely think starting with the original 21-Day Fix program would be the perfect spot. The group I'm running will focus on working out but this is Beachbody's first program to place equal emphasis on the fitness and nutrition component. This is why the 21-day fix is so powerful. Yes, it's 3 weeks, right? That's not very intimidating. 90 days is intimidating. 60 days is intimidating. 21 days, come on, 3 weeks. You got this, right? But the thing that makes it so powerful in those 3 weeks is they get amazing results because this is Beachbody's best program as far as nutrition. And nutrition probably makes up 80 or 90% of your results. I don't care how hard you're working out. I don't care how hard you're busting your ass in the gym. If you don't have your nutrition dialed in, you're not going to get the results you want. And 21-day fix dials in your nutrition better than anything I've ever seen. With the meal plan, the portion control containers, I mean, you're going to eat the right foods, the right ratios of the food groups, and you're going to get the right portions of the food that you need to be eating. And you have Shakeology as well. So that's why people are getting amazing results. And it's not just about a 21-day challenge. This is creating a healthy lifestyle. People get addicted to feeling good. They get addicted to these healthy habits. It takes 21 days to create a habit. So your people are going to get into this with these amazing products and the amazing experience you're going to create for them. And they're going to be so freaking addicted to feeling good. They want to know what is next. What's next? Giving this opportunity to other people to feel that way. Paying it forward by becoming a coach and inviting people to do 21-day challenges with you, right? So, okay, back to this. So each workout is 30 minutes a day, which is nice for your busy schedule with lots of variety, strength training, cardio, lower, upper, core, yoga, Pilates, etc. The nutrition plan uses specifically portioned food containers that eliminate the guesswork from portion control, no weighing, measuring, or counting calories, carbs, or points. If it fits in the container, you can eat it. And my clients are getting results when they eat the right quantities, #shocker, haha. There are no foods that are off limits, even chocolate and wine. It comes with 9 workout DVDs, a workout calendar, a full nutrition booklet with recipes, and a meal plan for 21 days. The 7 portion control containers, a Shakeology cup, and a month's supply of Shakeology. It's my breakfast every morning. Plus the group and accountability partner and me as your free coach. We can keep each other accountable. Does that sound doable? How would it feel to accomplish their why? Again, it's so important to dig deep and find their why. So that's step 4. So what I want to do was before I go to the next step, which is the talking a little bit about Shakeology. I guess I'll just read this quick, and then I was going to ask Caroline to share if she still does this, putting people on a group message with people that have already done the 21-day challenge and already are drinking Shakeology, usually other coaches. So this is the next step. So if they ask, okay, so what is this Shakeology? You can say something like this, but obviously you want to fill in what your personal benefits that you've noticed from Shakeology, okay? So it's an amazing meal replacement drink made with all whole foods, superfoods from all over the planet, nothing fake or artificial of any kind ever, period. It's a grade 7 protein, which is the highest level, and they even have vegan protein, right, which is made of the quinoa and the oat protein and the brown rice. It's delicious. It curbs my cravings. It helps with my energy levels. It helps me sleep better. It helps me focus. It helps me lose weight. And those are just the benefits off the top of my head. I would be happy to put you on a message thread with other 21-day fix users and Shakeology drinkers if you want more opinions. But literally, ask me anything. I absolutely love 21-day fix and Shakeology. So do any of you guys use the group message? Like if you send them that 5th step and they say, yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to be on a group message and get a perspective from other coaches or from other 21-day fix users and Shakeology drinkers. I know, Caroline, do you still do that?
I still do it, not as often, because usually, honestly, after I say, does this sound doable? How would it feel to accomplish blank? They're like I'm all in, like, how do I purchase? So recently I haven't been doing that as much, but occasionally I still do it. And if I do that, if someone's like, it sounds good, but like, how much does it cost? And then I say like I went through what it includes, and like, that's too much for me. And I'm like, how about I put you on a group message? And then like, I've only had like 1, maybe 2 people after I do the group message, be like, I can't do this, because I'm lucky that I have a lot of like coaches in like Amy Morgan's group who have like really, really good results. And so they like include their pictures, and that really helps. So.
That's great. So if you guys, what?
Oh, on the script. So this is you created a new script of it, right?
Is it different than the one you use, Amy?
Yeah, just because it doesn't start with like like all the follow-ups. I just think it'll be confusing for new coaches how it starts with follow-ups at the top.
So I use the same and that's a great point. Like, so I use the same follow-ups for every step. And so if you like look at any of the conversations I've had with someone who's ordered a challenge pack from me, and same with like any of these coaches, I ask them once in a while to post, like copy and paste the conversation they've had in the coach group. So you guys can like read through the conversation they've had, right? So let's see. Okay, so here's the follow-ups at the top, right? If you look at any of these conversations, it's not like here's step 1 and then they respond, and then here's step 2 and then they respond, here's step 3, they respond. And it's not how it works. It just doesn't. It's step 1 and then 2 days later, follow-up number 1, right? 48 hours later, follow-up number 1. So if you look at any of these conversations, it's step 1, 2 days later, follow-up number 1. 2 days later, follow-up number 2. So it just says, hey, a group of us are moving forward with the 21-day challenge. I want to make sure you didn't get left out by mistake. Are you still interested in joining us? Then 2 days later, still no response. The second follow-up, hey, just wanted to reach out one last time. I didn't want you to miss out by mistake, but I won't bother you anymore. If I don't hear from you, I'll assume you aren't interested in joining us. So if you look at, so it's step 1, follow-up number 1, follow-up number 2, a response. Step 2, follow-up number 1, follow-up number 2, a response. And it's always 48 hours later. If you follow up 7 days later, you lost them. Your excitement's gone, which is why it's so important to stay on top of your follow-ups. And one of the things that I do to make sure I'm keeping on top of my follow-ups is starting from the bottom of my Facebook inbox. So I do my Facebook follow-ups on my computer versus my phone, because I have this right here. I have my invite guide open, and I have my Facebook inbox open, and I always start at the very bottom, right? That's where the most amount of time's gone by since I've interacted with those people. At the bottom of my inbox, there shouldn't be any conversations that have had no interaction within the last 48 hours. If it's gone more than 48 hours without an interaction, they're going to start to lose interest. So I start at the bottom, and I go, okay, this person, I sent them step 2 2 days ago, no response. Let me go get follow-up number 1 and go back and send it to them. Then I move up to the next person. Okay, this person, I sent them follow-up number 1 2 days ago, no response still. I send them follow-up number 2. I go up to the next person. And let's say that 2 days has gone by and I sent them follow-up number 2 and there's no response, then what do? You archive that thing. If they do end up messaging you back after you archive it, it'll pop back into your inbox and you'll see all the history. Sound good?
Wait, so you don't follow up more than twice?
I do 2 follow-ups and then they're done.
Oh, see, I keep following up forever.
How many times you follow up until what?
Until they block me. If I will follow up until they block me.
Whoa.
I only do 3. I do 3 max.
I've gotten people after like 11 times of them not responding to me, and then they finally am like, I'm ready.
Wow.
That's a little much.
Like, coming from you, you're the most like intense person I know.
You know, Caroline, sometimes
more than 3 times. If I think they really would be good and they're not responding, I copy their name and I put it down on a contact list and I put them in an interest group, and I'll like and comment on their actual Facebook pages every now and then, but I don't message them more than 3 times.
yeah, they could be away, you know, on vacation or something, or sick. But if you lose them, they block you. You'll never get them back, you know. But what Amy's doing, you know, that's the way to go. Keep them on the side list and revisit them and like their pages, like Amy said.
I'm going to now go through on a side note for you guys. I'm pretty sure like 90% of my challengers are people who purchased after I continue to follow up like 10 times. But
So you do like step 3, right? You send them the questions. 2 days later, they still haven't answered the questions. You send them follow-up number 1. 2 days later, you see it says on Facebook they've seen it. They didn't respond. 2 days later, you send them follow-up number 2. You see that they see it. They still don't respond. 2 days later, you go 3. 2 days later, you go 4. And you're seeing that they're seeing it every time. And you see it.
Well, then I start saying like, hey, just checking in, or like, hey, how's your week going? Like after I like am finished with like those follow-ups, and I just go generic like, hey, how's your week going? Hey, how's your fitness journey going? Like.
Oh, okay. So it's more you go back to something like just a general conversation.
Yeah, but I do what Amy does, because I started it when she recommended, like I put them on a list and like what program I've discussed with them and when the last day was and like how many follow-ups I've done. Like it gets really anal about it. But I don't know. I just keep following up. I don't know.
You guys start at the bottom of your inbox and
yes.
way to the top?
Yes.
Pat, I can show my contact list and how I organize that if you want. You want me to?
Yeah.
So I actually just did my follow-ups today, so my inbox is very clean. But I have 2 documents on here. I have my contact list, so I have their name and they're not ready right now. And I'm going to follow back up with them in a month or July or whatever date they said. And then these are all the people that I have talked to about coaching, but they aren't like 100% serious. So I don't follow up with them often, but at least every 2 weeks, I'll copy their name. I'll go on to Facebook. I'll put it in. I'll look at it. And then I'll either, like some of the stuff they're doing. I did this today, and while I was liking it, the girl messaged me. Even though I didn't message her, she just got notifications that I was liking her stuff. So I'll do that every so often. And then just people I know that I've reached out to that I want to continue to talk with. And then I also have another tab that has people that have already bought challenge packs within the past week or so. And then I have anyone that's in a challenge. I put the day of the challenge and their names. And then anyone that said they're buying a challenge pack, I have the challenge pack and the date they said they're buying it. And then these are actually like serious people about coaching. So once they're actually serious, they go on this list. If they're not that serious, they go on this list.
All right. Cool.
Very organized.
I do something similar to that. So this is mine. So I got like my coaches that are in Coach Basics, right? And then I have like my coaches that are out of Coach Basics but are still new, that are like a month out of Coach Basics or 2 months that I'm still like working with really closely to get them going. Then I have my challengers. So I got like my May 4th challengers here. So I'm making sure I'm keeping track. These are like the people that I'm really connected with, and I'm texting with them every day. And then I have some people that are going to be starting I have a May 18th challenge with 3 people that are going to do that. So I'm going to make sure I'm getting their cell phone numbers so I can connect with them every day. And then I have like a bunch of people that are kind of like prospects that have like showed interest. This guy actually just bought it. So I moved him over to the challenge. And then I just make little notes. And then I have like former customers that I check in with once in a while. So I love this Google Doc thing. It's the best. And that's where all like our invite processes are on the Google Docs as well, which is really cool. Okay.
Where are these things? Yeah.
Any questions about like the those lists or like following up?
Pat, I had a question on following up. So when they friend you and you send the first message, so then you do just 2 follow-ups if they don't respond. And what if they don't see the message? Do you wait till they see it before you send the second follow-up?
I actually don't, because I think sometimes they see it, they just don't click on it. You know what I mean?
So you just treat it as two days later follow-up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do that twice.
So if they don't even respond, 2 follow-ups, and then you just X them out of the inbox.
Yeah, I archive it.
Okay. And then if they maybe respond to the first question, and then you ask them some of their fitness goals and they don't respond, and you do 2 follow-ups, then you X them out.
Yep. So you can, I'll show you how to archive.
And then they're done. I mean, you're not keeping a list of these people.
Yeah, there's a little button here. Like when you hover your mouse over this, you can't see it. When you hover your mouse, there's a little X. And you click archive.
Yeah. So if you only get a couple questions in and they don't respond, you give them the 2 follow-ups each one, then you X them out and they're done. You don't put them on a list, you're done.
Right. Yep. Any other questions about that, the follow-ups?
You can always put them in an interest group so you don't lose that person.
But I do like what Annie just, if I have somebody who like isn't responding to me, but like I've looked at their profile and I really think that they would be good or something, I jot their name down on that contact list because I want to watch them and like their stuff and everything. Because if you like people's things and comment on theirs, your stuff's going to pop up more on their news feed.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Pat, so how do you pull up the archives afterwards? I've never used archives.
How do you pull up the archives afterwards? Yeah. You can, if you wanted to. I don't know. If someone...
Well, you're archiving them so you can look at them later, right?
You just search their name and it will pull up in the search button.
Oh, okay.
And then anything that you ever talk to anybody on Facebook, every conversation is saved.
Oh, okay. It's the
So
same as if you just
exit
had them.
out, like if my coaches like text me or message me in my message box, I'll just archive it because I know we're going to talk again. Or if I'm looking for like, maybe like Brittany's message, I'll just type in her name and it will pop up.
Just like if you do a search for old messages.
Yep.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Cool. All right, last thing.
But normally, Pat, when we archive, we're like done with them pretty much, right?
Yeah, I don't go and search for them. Like once they pop back into your inbox automatically. If they see the message later on and message you, it'll come back into your inbox and you'll still see all the history. So you're good. Okay, last thing. So
do some messaging.
Okay, so step 5 was the one we went over. That's like tell them a little bit more about Shakeology. And step 6, if you want, you can put them on the group message. So then here we go again with like showing them this is going to be a lot more than just a challenge pack. They're getting a lot more in the beginning. If you say, hey, do you want to do this 21 or are you interested in doing a 21-day challenge? And they say, how much does it cost? I always say that depends on what you need. Would it be okay if I ask you a few questions so that I can figure out what the best option for you? If you just tell them how much it costs, like right up front, and they don't know anything about this experience, they're going to automatically think this is one more thing that they're going to fall off track with because that's all they know. I got to mute you. Sorry. Mom, Dad, bye. So I always just say, just let me ask you a few questions because there's a few options, and then we'll figure out the best option for you. So then once I get to figure out what their why is, really dig deep and start to show them that this is going to be more than just a challenge pack. This is a challenge group with an experience that they're going to get a lot different. This is going to be a lot different than anything they've ever done, right? So it's starting to create a higher perceived value. And they're going to have me texting them every day on top of their ass, right? So then after all of that, I'm going to show them what they're going to get, everything in the challenge pack, and how much it would cost individually, right? So 30-day supply of Shakeology, that'd be $130 by itself. 3-day quick start bikini guide. Again, the guys love that one. The 21-day nutrition plan, the daily workout calendar, the 7 workout DVDs would be $60. The 2 additional workout DVDs, if you order from a coach, another $40 value. The color-coded portion control containers, the free t-shirt for completing the program. So let me see if I can show you guys where they can do that. So on teambeachbody.com, you go to Beachbody Challenge Contest, and you scroll down. If they already completed it, then they just go to here, enter my results. And they can put in their before and after and a little their measurements, and Beachbody will send them a free t-shirt, which is cool. So that's the t-shirt. And then the free Facebook accountability group with prizes for results. This group is a game changer. People that participate definitely see the best results, accountability and motivation. All of this, and then obviously the priceless one, me as your personal mentor, right? Priceless. So that's the last one. And then I say, it costs $160 for all this. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee. Give me 2 weeks. Give me 2 weeks. If you don't like it, for whatever reason, you can send the empty bag of Shakeology back with the program, and I'll make sure you get a full refund. I'll even pay for you to ship it back, right? I'll PayPal them $10 if they decide that they're going to send it back, right? I've never had anyone do it, but I'd be glad to send them $10 on PayPal if they want to send it back. No problem. I'll also shoot me a text once you order, or if you have any questions, and I give them my cell phone number. We will be texting a lot during the challenge. I'll keep you on track and make sure you, boom, again, their why during the 3 weeks. And most importantly, help you have a healthier relationship with food that lasts well beyond the 3 weeks. Sound good? This has been a huge help. And I said I was going to help you guys with objections, right? The biggest objection you guys get is probably the money. This has helped me big time because the money is always the thing that's holding them back. I've already created this really high perceived value, and a lot of times now they say 160. I thought it'd be a lot more based on everything we talked about, everything they're going to get besides just the challenge pack, that whole experience, right? If they're still on the fence about the money, then I just say, give me 2 weeks with this thing. Let's really achieve that why that we really dug deep to find. Let's really get that. Give me 2 weeks to do this. If it doesn't work, you get all of your money back. I'll even pay you the $10 to ship it back. But give me 2 weeks. 2 weeks. That's helped big time. And then the last step is just how to order. So that's the little invite process I have. So that's what we went over today, right? We went over how to find people, how to find high quality people, how to connect with them, how to move it from the connection and the finding to the inviting by moving the conversation to Facebook and then using this invite guide. So that's like the tunnel vision that I have every month. I'm focused on that, on the connecting and finding, and then just sticking to this, right? And my goal is 5 people a month. I want to just get 5 people a month that are going to be my best friends that I'm going to be texting with every day and giving them a really amazing experience, which I don't have time to talk about on this call. I can talk about it a little bit more next week on how to create a really fun experience for them in that group. Such a good experience that they're going to want to pay it forward and create that experience for others by becoming a coach. So
I have a question, Pat.
Yeah.
Okay, so at any time, are you letting them know that they'll be getting Shakeology on Home Direct, or do you wait for the 2 weeks and say, how is it going? By the way, you're going to be auto shipped again, or do you want to cancel?
Yeah, so I'll show you. So in the coach group or in the Boom Fam, it's the same file. In the Files tab, there's a file called Challenge Pack Scripts, right? This is true with the Boom Fam too. If you go into the Boom Fam, go to the Files tab, Challenge Pack Scripts. So the invite process we just went over, boom, that's right there. It's the first one. And then once they have committed to the challenge pack, this is the next one that I use that talks about making sure you help them create a really good recipe so that they love the taste of it. I'll even show you. And then the next step is talking to them about the discount and the fact that they're going to have a second month coming to them 30 days from when they ordered their challenge pack, and making sure that if they're going to continue to do this, that they should get the discount. That's all laid out in this one. So tunnel vision, again, those are the only 2 that I use. This is the one we just went over, and then the only other one I use is this one for once they've ordered the challenge pack. And Tommy Migrant said it right. And I made this mistake. I was so caught up in getting Success Club points that was my end game. I was so focused on inviting, following up, selling challenge packs, getting Success Club, that once I got my customer, I'd throw them into some big challenge group and check in with them once a week. No good. They're not going to get the experience that they would have if you had them in a smaller group. And maybe you'd only have one person, but maybe you could team up with 1 or 2 other coaches. Or maybe you put them into a big group, but you connect with them on a daily basis with texting and connecting in the group. That's how you create an amazing experience for them. The better the experience, the better the results they're going to have. The better the results, the better the experience, the more likely they are to want to pay it forward. I become a coach and creating that ripple effect that we always talk about.
So you're just doing 5 customer group?
Yep. So like now I had someone's echoing here. Echo? No. Sorry, Joe. I had to mute you for a sec. Yeah. So my goal is like to get my 5 people each month. This month, like the first Monday of the month, I had 5 people that started on that first Monday of the month. And then I had more that like just ordered challenge packs like last week. So I have like 3 more people that are going to start on the 18th, I believe, or maybe the 11th. I haven't decided yet. So I'll be like I'll have my little group of 5. I'm really going to I have like some cool things to help them really connect with each other and create a good experience in there. The more they connect with each other and the more they support each other, the better the results they're going to get, the better the experience. So like I post things in there like, hey, like what's one interesting thing about yourself? What's one thing you're proud of? So they start to, and I say, hey, what's one interesting fact about yourself? And I tag someone and then they share and then they tag the next person and so on and so forth. And then I'll do that with one thing you're proud of. I did something today that was like, where have you lived and what have you done for work? So then everyone kind of commented with where they've lived and what kind of occupations they've had. So they're starting to get to know each other. And I said, make sure you send friend requests to everybody. That helps. So that's how I start to create an experience like within that group, in addition to me like texting with them each day, almost every day. Cool. Anything else?
So Pat, are you putting them in your original like a challenge, like a 21-day fix challenge, and then also doing that with them?
Mm-hmm. So let's see.
Because what I do is I guess I don't get their phone numbers, but I put them in a challenge group that starts, and then I also put them on a Facebook message with like 3 to 4 people max. And I tell them it's like our small challenge within the message.
Right.
And then we like do those questions and like, get to know each other through that little message thread.
Yeah. So I just do it through this group, like I have the 5 of them in this group. We really make sure we're trying to connect with each other. We're getting this echo. I connect with them in the group and I want them to really connect with each other and make sure they're sending each other Facebook requests, things like that. Let me just play this kind of sums up the group. Let me just play this for 60 seconds. This will give you a better idea. Hey guys, it's Monday, which means the 21-day challenge is done. Finito. I hope you guys had a blast. I know I did. This was probably the best 21-day challenge that I've been a part of. It's kind of rare that all 5 people stick with it the entire 21 days, which is what happened, which is so cool. I think that's what made it so fun. And I think partly the reason that you guys all stayed with it was because it was a fun group of really cool people. And you didn't want to get left behind because nobody else was stopping. They were all continuing to work out and post and stay on track with stuff, which was really cool. And when people did kind of start to have some ups and downs, the rest of the group picked them up, which I thought was so cool. I'm really excited that Melinda and Laura are going to be joining me as coaches, which is really exciting because it's one thing to help people with these 21-day challenges and help them gain confidence and get results and start to feel better. It's another to empower them to the point where they're ready to pay it forward and help others do the same by leading their own 21-day challenges. And that's something I always talk about. It's this ripple effect that we create as coaches. We help people and we empower them to the point where they're ready to help people of their own. And that's what's so cool. So that's a little video. So there was 5 of them in there and me. There were 6 of us in there, really interacting with each other. And I posted a lot of things in there to try to get them to share a little bit about themselves so they got to know each other more. And really, the more they got to know each other, the more they supported each other, which was really fun to see. And they just had such an amazing experience that 3 out of the 5 became coaches. And the other 2 are doing my May challenge with the 21-day fix extreme. Because they had such a cool experience that they wanted to keep going. Cool.
Hey, Pat, would you be able to put like a little list together of like little questions every day, like questions that you might, ask that we could put in our challenges?
Yeah, definitely.
Like
it's cool to like have other people. I think that like we're gonna have more and more people like coming up with good ideas that are gonna really make these like really like I want the 21 day challenges to be an experience, not just fact. Like they would pay separate for being a part of that group, but it's free. You know what I mean? So it's like it's coupled with the value of the challenge pack.
Alyssa Sardelli and Chelsea Hugh put together an amazing 21-day fix script that they're using for like different ideas, like share your Shakeology post, like, like what sneakers are you wearing? And they have the entire thing, Mom. I can give it to you. It's in my coach group in the file tab, like different than just the regular script that Beachbody did, but they like put it together like themselves. And their challenge in April was like people were commenting and it was crazy. So you should look at that. You just muted yourself.
Oh, the other thing, do a week prep.
What?
A week prep. A week prep. A week prep before.
Annie, you gotta mute yourself.
Yeah, Mom. This whole week, we take a whole week to prep, and then we start that next week. So
what does that mean?
Challenge prep this week. We're starting on the next week.
Do you help them prep? What do you do?
What?
Yeah, we do. The whole week is about prepping, like throwing out the junk in your cabinets and, telling people that you're doing this challenge and doing your measurements and meal prepping and grocery, like the whole week.
So do you give them a list?
Why don't you create a doc?
Like list of food and menus?
I have a doc, Amy. It's in my coach group.
Boom Fam with the everyday post for the 21-day fix, so other people who are running 21-day challenges can have all that.
Yeah, cool.
I think the prep week would be pretty cool too, like the week before, like she's saying, and the food to get and measurements and weights. And I mean, I have challengers asking for more menus with the 21-day fix portion control. If people have them.
Yeah, Alyssa put the document together so I can put it in the Boom Fam so everybody can get it.
Great. One thing I do with the people is when I text them when their challenge pack is like on its way to them, and I love these voice texts now. I'm sure you guys, some of you guys might have noticed, but I'll like text them, like I'll send them a voice text and I'll be like, all right, I just checked the tracking on your package. It looks like it's in Ohio. It should be there in the next 2 days. So this is what I want you to do while you're waiting for it to come. Go through your cupboards, go through your fridge, throw out all the junk, all the crap, all the refined sugars, all the processed food. Get it out of the house. If it's in the house and you're having a moment of weakness and you're tempted, you're going to go for it. If it's out of the house, it's not there. Hopefully your urges aren't bad enough to get in the car and drive to the store and buy the junk, hopefully. But make sure you just throw that stuff out. And then when you get the challenge pack, set aside a half an hour or an hour and really like sit down without any distractions and read through the guide, read through the meal plan so that you have a really good idea of how this is going to happen, like what the next 3 weeks are going to look like. And then go to the grocery store the weekend before it starts with your grocery list and your meal plan, get your foods, and then have the weekend to meal prep so that when Monday comes on day one, you're ready to rock and roll. You don't have to be questioning what's next. You're ready to go. So I'm just doing like little things like that. And also like starting to talk to them based on like the flavor of Shakeology. They got a couple recipes that I think they might like so that when they get it, they already have a few recipes in mind to try, because sometimes, the first few times you make it, it's not the best. So I let them know that, hey, the first few times you make it, it's not the best. So they kind of know that in advance. So, and I give them a few ideas that they have a couple options so that they hopefully find something they love with the right recipe and the right texture. But I think we definitely we'll create like a document that's going to be kind of more than just like the script of what to do once they buy the challenge pack, like how to, yes, help them create a recipe. Yes, show them that they can get a discount, but also some cool things to post in your little challenge groups to really like get them to connect with each other and create that environment, you know, the environment that I keep talking about.
Yeah, I think if we had like one mastered 21-day fix prep week thing, the 3-week posts, ideas in between that everyone could have access to, that'd be helpful.
Yeah. All right, Amy, you're in charge. We'll I think that'll be good. We'll get something together. And I think if you guys like, when you guys come up with some cool ideas that are really helping you guys create a really good experience for your challengers, post it in the coach groups and kind of share like what's working so that we can all kind of use that. I started doing that a little bit. I think that video I just showed you guys, like I posted that in the coach group. I don't know how many of you guys had a chance to see it, but cool. All right. We went way over, but this is like, you know, it's a big topic. It's the basics. It's what every single coach is it's our kind of our tunnel vision every month. The finding, the connecting, the inviting is number 2, and then creating that experience for them. So hope you guys got a lot out of this. I'll post the recording. Boom on 3. Ready? 1 and 2 and 3. Boom.
You gotta unmute everybody next time.
Boom, boom.
All right, we'll try that again. Let's try it. All right, 1, 2, 3. Boom.